Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire!
Tonight we'll be talking about The Flash.
Season 2, episode 5! Called Monster!
Yeah, monster, because it was totally a real monster. Not.
It was a hologram.
It was. It was a holographic. So, what did you like?
I'm just like really happy about the coloring right now. I'm sorry. I finally got it right, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. What did I like? Wells?
What did you like about Will?
I thought he was funny.
He's a lying scumbag.
I know, he's fake.
Which is so easy to tell.
I just thought some of the remarks were funny.
Empire of the Sunberry. Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, Barry. Empire Strikes Back.
And Empire of the Sun is an actual movie. I haven't seen it, but it is an actual movie, so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I liked learning more about Julian.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that this was like his best episode so far, and I kind of have to agree with that because we got to learn more about him.
Yeah.
And why, you know, he feels the way he does about metahumans and all that stuff. So that was nice.
It was. I enjoyed getting to know him.
Yeah.
I was making comments the entire time.
Well, when he was saying that he came from like all of this with his family, she's like, "Yep,
rich family."
She's like, "Yep,
from Britain, like from England."
Draco Malfoy, and I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Like, yeah, you're a Malfoy, and then he's like, "I was the only." He's like, "I was the eldest child." I'm like, "Dude, you're the only child," and like, he's like, and I was the odd duck. I'm like, well, yeah, in the final movie, you basically sided with Harry Potter. Like, I mean, besides the fact that, like, he walked off with his parents and left the fight, I mean, he was still fighting on the side of the school. Mm-hmm. He was fighting on Hogwarts' side.
Yeah.
I mean, even though tried to do all these horrible things, he never could pull it off. Mm-hmm. It's because he was never the evil one at heart. He was always just, like, a bully, but he was never evil.
Yeah.
Which makes him weird in his family. So, like, I'm like, dude, you're explaining Draco Malfoy in the Flash universe. Come on now.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
It was.
I don't know. Oh, I liked Iris, you know, telling Joe that he deserves to be happy and, like, he should, you know, ask Cecile out because she's falling in love with someone and she wants him to feel the same way.
You freaked out over that.
I did because she's I mean, yeah, we've known that, like, she loves him, but like actually voicing it is different.
She hasn't told him yet. So
no,
there's a difference. The closest she ever got to saying it is that, well, you're Barry and I'm Iris.
Yeah.
We'll always find each other.
like,
you know, like that's the closest she ever got to saying anything like that. She's always, like she said, like we'll always find each other.
Yeah,
they'll always
like,
be in us. But
she's like, you know, you'll always be Barry and I'll always be Iris and we'll always find each other.
But that's not saying I love you.
No, and
that's saying like we'll always be in each other's lives no matter what universe we're in. But that's not saying.
I mean.
Like,
before,
let's make babies.
In the timeline before the Flash, before he created the Flashpoint timeline, she did say she loved him.
She did.
But that's a different timeline, so it doesn't really count.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe it'll happen on the Christmas episode.
I don't know.
Maybe it'll happen before that. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe.
I mean, we know he loves her. So.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just really happy about that.
Well, yeah. I love how like Wells was trying to explain a movie to Cisco, and Cisco's like, because Wells kept saying, and this gladiator did this, and the gladiator, and Cisco's like, that's Gladiator. And Wells was like, that's not what we named it on my Earth. It was called Sweaty Men.
Sweaty Men?
Or like
really?
Two Sweaty Men or something like that. And he's like, it didn't catch on.
Well,
I'm like,
I wouldn't think so.
Like,
I mean, if all of the movies on his Earth have dumb titles like that, I'm sure none of them caught on.
well, he knew about Empire of the Sun.
Yeah, but probably not a lot of people in our Earth know about it. I don't know. It won Best Picture, I think, so I would assume it's a pretty popular
What
movie.
year?
Like in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Old.
It was a Spielberg movie. So for those of you that are like your favorite director is Steven Spielberg, you would know about the film. I haven't seen it, but I know about it. So yeah, that was funny. I don't know. I liked seeing Iris, fighting or helping those people on the bus when the monster was like coming out, and she's like, from what I know, you don't need to have a superhero suit to save people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I liked seeing her out on the streets, trying to do stuff.
Yeah, and trying to help people. You know what their kids will be able to say? Saving people and hunting things, the family business.
Oh my gosh! So great. Wow.
Supernatural fans will understand that one.
We wish they would say that.
Alright.
They probably won't.
Probably not. Something about what one of the things that the Wells was explaining to Cisco almost sounded like an explanation of Warworld. Which was mentioned last night.
She's all excited about
Supergirl.
She is all excited about War World. There we go. I said it.
If you want to catch the thing about Warworld, you should watch the Supergirl review from last night. That was episode 4.
Yeah.
But anything else that?
The Caitlin thing.
Yeah.
So we saw Caitlin going to visit her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to figure out, all about her powers and everything. And in the process, she becomes closer with her mom again.
Yeah.
And
which is a good thing.
Yeah. And so
who's on the actress is like on everything.
Yeah, that actress looked so familiar. She's been in a lot of stuff. I remember her as like the principal of like the high school on One Tree Hill. She was on like 3 episodes. But yeah, for people that have seen that, they'll know who I'm talking about. So yeah, like we got to see that a little bit more into like what's going on with Caitlin, and I always like the Caitlin and Cisco scenes. I always enjoy seeing their friendship and like their talks and everything. So it was nice that we got that little scene. Yeah. And I guess like I can understand why that kid was doing what he was doing with the hologram, because like, he was being bullied and everything, and he just wanted to feel like powerful and like.
I suppose it's better than taking a gun to school.
True. It is. I
mean, it's not like a hologram hurt people. I mean, people swerved out of the way and got hurt because they were avoiding the hologram.
Yeah.
But
the hologram itself cannot actually hurt people because it's not real.
It damaged a lot of property.
Yeah.
But, like...
It legitimately looked like Godzilla.
The casualties.
Yeah.
No.
Not really.
No.
So, I mean, at least he was, like, using his, I don't know, anger in a better way than, like, actually trying to shoot up a school.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still don't necessarily like, but he wasn't really hurting anyone.
Yeah.
He was just trying to demonstrate power and, like, want people to feel the same way that he was feeling. And that's, you know...
Powerless.
That's why bullies do what they do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I totally could understand why he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Joe telling him it does get better, because it does, even if you feel like it doesn't.
Yeah. It always gets better, like...
Yeah, it does.
I mean... We weren't exactly the cool kids.
No.
So, we went through some pretty hard stuff ourselves. I mean, we know people who had it harder than us, but...
Yeah.
Like... You know, like, it does get better.
It does.
Like, I'm pretty happy with my life.
Yeah,
So...
me too.
Yeah, it gets better.
I mean, high school's hard. Being a teenager is hard. Like... You know, I don't wish those years again on anyone.
No.
Like, seriously, those are, like, the hardest years of your life, pretty much. Yeah. And, like, at least for me they were, especially middle school. So, like, you know, I can understand why they're struggling and what they're going through, because I went through the exact same thing.
The only reason high school would be your glory days is because you're a football player who can't do anything else and doesn't get a scholarship.
Yeah,
or
basically,
you're like a cheerleader that goes nowhere.
Basically, the only way that high school is good is if you're popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even then, I mean, it's not always that good.
I mean, some people that aren't, like, cheerleaders or jocks can make their high school experience really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on, like, what category you're put into.
Or what type of high school you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
Small town, big city. Your school system depends on...
if you're going by, like, you know, the stereotypes, like the jocks, the nerds, the loners, the goths, you know, the whatever you're going by, like, there are people in those groups that can actually, like, make an enjoyable experience and have a good time in high school. Sometimes the loners have a good time because they don't let anybody bother them and they just keep to themselves and they have a completely normal high school experience, you know. So it just depends.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it does get better, and I think that that's a lesson that should be learned in this episode. I mean, even though it wasn't portrayed very well.
Yeah.
Like, what was portrayed was the reaction to the bullying.
Exactly.
Which, there shouldn't be that type of reaction to bullying. There shouldn't be any bullying, period, but... I mean, at the same time...
I mean, it's hard to enforce it because, like, you can't always control when it's happening or where it's happening. So, I mean, you know, yeah, you want to try to stop it before it starts, if you can. But there are, like, especially with cyberbullying, it's really hard to, like, stop that because it's happening through the internet. But, like, if it's in schools and stuff, there are schools that have, like, no tolerance bullying policies and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's some that do enforce it, but...
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that, like, that lesson can also be kind of related to Julian and, like, his story, too, because, like, you know, he realized that the Flash wasn't so bad and that, you know, Barry actually might not be so bad either, and he kind of wanted to, like, work with him again.
I think he realized that he was the bully.
Yeah.
And that the metahumans were the little boy that he almost killed.
Yeah.
And that not, like... Whether or not they appear human or not, like, they were originally human. And, like, it's almost like saying a popular kid suddenly became a nerd. Like, that's basically what happened to them. They had to deal with this huge paradigm shift in their life. And some of them didn't choose the right path. Like... If you were a popular kid 1 minute and then, like, the lowest nerd the second, how else would you deal with it than to become a bully?
I mean, you're gonna get a totally different perspective, and you're gonna, like, see things from that point of view.
Mm-hmm. And so what he's experiencing is like the shift of, I didn't, almost kind of like how some older people are still maybe slightly racist or something like that. Like, this isn't how I grew up. Mm-hmm. This isn't how the world works. It's this way. And so
it's only, like,
prejudice against what's going on. Yeah. And he's starting to realize that that's not the right way to handle this. Mm-hmm. That, like, in every different place, you find people that are good and people that are bad.
Yeah.
There's just a high concentration of bad people in Central City. So, like, it just sucks that all of them got their powers.
Yep.
And I think he's realizing that.
Yeah. And I hope that, like, he still realizes that when he finds out about Barry being the Flash.
I don't know if he's gonna find out. I mean, I think he will, but...
Yeah.
Like, part of me doesn't want him to, because it's almost like, last season on Arrow... Was it last season? No, it was the season before, when John Campy was still doing reviews on Stream.tv.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you get to know, and you get to know, and you get to know. Because Oliver was telling, like, everyone.
Yeah.
And, like, that's how the Flash has been, too. You get to know, and you get to know, and you get to know.
Well, I mean, the important people in his life know.
Yeah.
Which is really the only people that need to know. Mm-hmm. Is, like, his family and his friends.
Yeah.
Everybody else can just not know.
So then, Julian knowing...
I don't know. It depends on if he becomes his friend or not.
You see, the trick there is that I think he has something to do with alchemy.
Yeah.
He's part of Dr. Part of Dr. Alchemy.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Dr. Hyde...
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde. I can't even speak tonight. Dr. Jekyll.
That's how I felt with War World. I was like, blah, blah, blah.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Just think of Once Upon a Time. Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde.
I know. That's what I was trying to think of.
Although they got rid of him already, but whatever.
Really? I need to catch up.
You do.
So, I mean... He's gonna have something to do with alchemy.
Yeah. Well, not next week. The following week's the promo for the 15th is called Shade, the episode, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Wally starts to, like, have the painful dreams about being Kid Flash.
Like what Magenta was talking about.
And, like, it looked like we saw alchemy, right?
We did.
Talking to Barry. Mm-hmm. Or talking to the Flash.
Yeah.
So...
And Joe said, like, he's getting his powers.
Yeah.
Like, Joe said that. So, that means that, like, I think they lose track of Wally, and Joe had told him to go.
Which means Barry's going to have to actually tell them what happened in Flashpoint.
I mean, like, okay, like, no, like, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Like, I know, yeah, he's gonna have to tell them about Flashpoint.
Well, that's what it said in the description.
But, I mean, like, Joe said to them that he's getting his powers.
Wally.
Yes. That's not just telling us that he's gonna go see alchemy. It's telling us that Joe supports him going to alchemy, getting his powers the wrong way, dying a little bit, having a husk, and coming back as the Kid Flash.
Okay. What?
Okay, like, I mean...
No, I understand.
If you think about the whole husk thing...
Yeah.
Like, part of them had to die a little bit,
yeah.
Right? So, like, I mean... Because humans don't molt, okay? We don't. It is not...
Yeah.
No. So, it's like, okay, we have this weird thing going on, and And it's just like, it's not the skin that's dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's this universe's version.
Yeah. Like what happened with Barry when he like went through that portal and he like, or when they, what was it? It was one of the episodes last season where like that version of Barry died, but like the other one came through the portal or something like that.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
The time traveling point where he was running that race with Zoom.
Yeah. With himself. Well, not himself, but I mean.
Yeah. But that's not
the same.
Not the same, because that was a future version of him.
Okay.
Like that was quite literally that same him,
okay.
just a few seconds in the future.
Okay.
This is an alternate reality that was canceled out.
Yeah.
And what Alchemy is doing is he's basically killing off the version that we have in this reality. That's like saying that if you have powers on Earth too, you can get them here, and I'm going to give them to you, but this version of you has to die, and you have to basically become that version.
The version from Earth too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which, like, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The husks are actually them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, like, a skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not just
it's
shedding.
It's actually them.
It's them.
That person.
And what's left behind as that person is a shadow of what was in the previous timeline.
So that's Alchemy's goal, is trying to, like, do that with everyone.
Everyone
who's a metahuman.
In Flashpoint.
In Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So Barry, too?
Barry wasn't a metahuman in Flashpoint. If he would have stayed there any longer, he would have lost his abilities. He was not the Flash. Wally was.
Okay.
Barry only had his abilities because he created the timeline, and he was losing them because that version of him didn't have abilities.
Exactly. And Zoom told him that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, the next week when Wally gets his outfit, it will no longer be the Wally that... I mean, it'll be the same Wally because they appeared very similar.
Yeah.
And he'll have all the memories of our Wally, but he'll have the abilities of the other Wally. And that's where the line gets blurry.
Well, do you think that, like, Barry knows, like, the goal of Alchemy right now?
Mm-mm.
So he doesn't
knows
understand
that Alchemy is giving the abilities to them because he's trying to protect the Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he knows is what Alchemy told him was his reasoning.
Yeah.
And that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know. I mean, I think that there's other nefarious plans at work, and...
Nefarious?
Yeah.
Nice.
I used a big word. For a second there, I was worried I used it wrong or pronounced it incorrectly, but I didn't. Did I?
No, I don't believe so.
Yay! But, like, the whole invasion that Alchemy was talking about when he explained what he was doing to Barry, I've already talked at length about this in, like, last night's episode review, so you can go watch that.
Just go watch that.
Why don't you just put a link to it in the description?
Okay.
So, yeah, there'll be a link in the description below to last night's review.
I also posted the link to the Supergirl review on Twitter, so...
Yeah.
We're on the Twitter, so...
Yeah, so if you don't follow us on Twitter, please click the link below.
We're starting to get a few more followers, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Click the link below that she puts down there every week.
Below!
The Rave Star Spoils one, and you can find us on Twitter there. If you liked our review, thumbs up, and subscribe, and comment, because we want to hear your thoughts.
Yep.
What do you guys think that Alchemy is up to?
Yes, what do you think? based off the promo.
What do you think about my theory about the husk thing? Like, I mean...
I think it's an interesting theory.
Yeah. What are your theories about the husks? And about Joe's comment.
Yeah. I didn't even hear that in the promo. Mm-hmm. Because the promos go by so fast. They're like 30 seconds. So, like, you know, if you're not paying complete attention to it, you don't hear everything. Mm-hmm. But, like, even though we didn't get as much of, like, Barry and Iris in this episode, like, I still enjoyed it because we got other interesting things.
Yeah, we got the whole Caitlyn thing.
And I mean, we did get like a cute little lunch date, even though it got interrupted again.
Yeah. Big belly burger. Triple B.
Oh, and you don't take Iris's fries from her because she's like the fries person. Because remember in the pilot episode, like she was eating his fries and he like took them from her.
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, I saw some GIFs on, like, Tumblr that were, like, paralleling the pilot with this episode where they were having the lunch date with the fries stuff, so. But, yeah, I mean, it was sweet. It was, you know, domestic, normal, like, type thing, so it was nice.
I'm enjoying the fact that it appears that Caitlyn has lost the ability to control herself.
Yes.
So whether or not she wants the secret to come out, it's going to come out really soon.
Oh, yeah, because...
If not next week.
It's the following week.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Because
next episode.
The 15th is episode 6, and episode 7 is Killer Frost. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be the 22nd.
Oh.
The Killer Frost episode will be the 22nd. And then the 29th will be the crossover episode, the part of the crossover that they're going to do with, like, all 4 shows.
Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah. I think maybe one of them will find out next episode.
Maybe Cisco.
I'm thinking Cisco. And then in the Killer Frost episode 3 weeks from now, everyone will find out because it's called Killer Frost. I mean... Caitlyn almost killed someone tonight. Like,
yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, I mean, I know, you know, Cisco and Caitlyn will never, like, be a thing or anything like that, but I just like the fact that he's kind of usually the person that finds that stuff out first about her. Yeah. Whether it's something she's dealing with, like, personally or emotionally or something, like, he's usually the first one that figures it out. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, because they know each other pretty well. I mean, they've been working together for a long time, and they're good friends. So it's only, you know, understandable that he would.
Yeah. They do seem to have a closer connection.
They do. Like, she's usually the one that he's usually the one that she talks to when she's going through something.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the one that most people talk to when they're going through something.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that can bring levity to the situation, or... You can tell it like it is, and he's a scientist, so he always has a solution.
Yeah, he's very logical, like, analytical minded. Mm-hmm. And he's a good listener, too.
Yes, he is.
So, yeah. Oh, I like the fact that Barry's staying with Cisco till he finds his own place. Yeah. And, like, he was all making him, you know, this breakfast, like, eggs easy, or what, I forgot what he said. It was like, eggs, sunny side up, or something like that. And Cisco's like, you don't have to keep doing that, like, all the time, because he was, like, speeding around, you know, making it really fast and everything. But
yeah. Well, I missed that part.
So. It was, like, right at the beginning. So. At first, when they showed Barry, like, making breakfast at, like, the stove, I so thought that, like, it was gonna be
Iris's place?
No, like, his place, but Iris was gonna be there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in the morning having breakfast. And then I was like, oh, it's Cisco.
Baby, let's turn the lights down. Ooh. Make that music playing soft.
Shut up.
Because we ain't got no place to go.
First, I don't know. I mean, the West Allen in me wanted it to be her.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Not really.
Okay.
Are you done too?
I think so. There was no, like, comic booky thing that I could relate this to.
Not really.
I mean, the big bad for the episode was a teenage kid who played with electronics.
I mean, it was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I liked the message. I liked,
I think that's what they were going for this week, more so than anything, was just, like, the character development and
which
stuff.
is always great, because there's a lot of shows that don't do character development very well, so when they do that, I always give them props for that, because character development is a great thing.
Yeah, and it was nice seeing Caitlin's abilities manifest more, and especially after last
and
week.
Learning more about Julian and all that stuff. So.
And learning that Wells isn't a scientist at all.
So they're gonna let him stay, but
well, he has to prove himself.
Yeah. Maybe he will prove to be a good help.
Isn't it an interesting thought that, like, if Wells goes back, there will be a story written about Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin.
And everybody else.
Yeah. That this Wells met.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a story out there called, I mean, he's gonna call it, like, H.R. Wells, like, Adventures or something. But, like...
Which is so hilarious.
Yeah, I think his editor's gonna make him change
Well, because
it.
H.G. Wells, he was a scientist, so, like, it just, I don't know, it's funny.
Unless you watch Warehouse 13, she was a scientist.
Interesting.
And she was pretty damn cool. I loved her character.
I will see it eventually.
But, that there would be, like, I'm pretty sure, like, his editor would make him change the title. Like, it's just stupid. Imagine there'd be a book out there titled The Flash.
Maybe in his Earth, though, it would be acceptable.
Maybe. I mean, there was a movie called Two Sweaty Dudes. So. And our version was called Gladiator.
Which is a way better title.
Very much so.
So, yeah.
Not that either movie did all that well.
I mean, I thought Gladiator was a good movie.
It was. It was, but the box office didn't think so.
Well, I think it won Best Picture, so...
Yeah, but, you know, those awards don't reflect the box office.
True, they don't.
They reflect
reflect the Academy.
Mm-hmm. Old stuffy dudes. Okay, that's not really what it's made up of anymore.
No, it's not.
No, but, I mean, a lot of them still are old stuffy dudes. They still rule the majority
They do.
of it. So...
For the most part.
Yeah, for now. Till they die off. That's depressing.
Well, that's just a whole other rant to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, I guess
until next time, keep believing in the impossible.